Senator Madigan.
Thank you, Madam Acting Deputy President. I believe this afternoon as it emerged that CSIRO has announced to staff that it is axing all the remaining forest scientists in that national research organisation. In case you didn't hear that, CSIRO has decided that the remaining 33 forest scientists in CSIRO are to be sacked. They have about 8 weeks' notice. There were about 300 forest scientists in CSIRO a couple of decades ago, and it has been whittled down to just 33. The forest business is big business in Australia. It directly supports 77,300 jobs. A total of 200,000 jobs are supported through flow-on economic activity. The forest sector, some would say, makes our auto sector look small in comparison. The forestry sector comprises 6.7% of our manufacturing output, with gross sales in excess of $22 billion. Madam Acting Deputy President, this government tells businesses to innovate and then takes an axe to the organisation that can help one of our most important sectors to innovate and compete successfully. It doesn't make sense, it doesn't add up. Mr President, I've been vocal in recent weeks about the action or the inaction of this government over the budget. I've called it a family-bashing budget and criticised the government for its inability and or unwillingness to negotiate. Since then, some ministers and their staff have taken the bit between their teeth. The carpet to my office has been worn thin by some ministers and their staff. But still, even at this stage, this is not happening across the board. Tonight I asked for an urgent briefing from Industry Minister Ian Macfarlane on the CSIRO cuts. I've asked for 5 minutes of his time, but I've heard nothing back to date. The government tells us that the opening up of the forests in Tasmania is based on good science. So why is the government getting rid of the scientists leading the charge? The government said it is wanting carbon stored in the Carbon Farming Initiative, and that will play a big part in direct action achieving its targets. And guess what, Mr President? Trees store carbon dioxide. And today I have learnt that CSIRO scientists who are working in this vital area of the government's direct action initiative are being chopped. Why is that? And why is it happening now? Why today, when the parliament is completely consumed with other things? Why announce this today without any external notification? My information comes from a leaked email. The CSIRO has kept this quiet, the government has kept this quiet. Timber built this nation and still underpins so many of our regional communities. In my electorate of Victoria, 24,000 people work directly in the timber industry. That's 24,000 families who pay their mortgage and their rent, educate their children and put food on the table through the timber industry. I'm told there are 52,000 jobs indirectly supported by the timber industry. In a global growing economy, timber and all its uses will be massive. Products like bioplastics and biofuels are going to change our children's futures. Why then are we abandoning this playing field to our competitors? Do you know where these CSIRO scientists will most likely spend the coming Christmas? They will be looking to get jobs in Chile, Vietnam, China, Canada, places which are rapidly taking over our markets. That's innovation Australian style under the current government. Export our finest mines, stifle our most productive industries and put people out of work. Thank you, Mr President.
Thank you, Senator Madigan. Senator